Okay, so let's jump right in. Have you ever felt like math has its own secret language? Well, today we're going to crack the code. We're talking about percentages, fractions, and decimals. They might look totally different, but you're about to see that they're all just different ways of saying the exact same thing, a part of a whole.
To get us started, here's a little challenge for you. Take a look at these three numbers. Which one do you think is the biggest? It looks kind of tricky, right? They're all in different formats, but I promise you, by the end of this, answering a question like this is going to feel like a total piece of cake.
So here's the big secret. These aren't three separate ideas. They are three different codes for one single meaning. And the key that unlocks all of it, the secret to translating between them, is one single magic number. And that number is 100. Let's start with percentages, because the clue is right there in the name, percent. Like a century has 100 years, cent just means 100. So a percentage is just a special kind of fraction where the bottom number, we call that the denominator, is always 100. 50% literally just means 50 out of 100. Simple as that. So why 100? Why is that our magic number? Well, this is why. It's because it is so easy to work with. Look at all these numbers it can be divided by perfectly. 2, 4, 5, 10, 20, 25, and 50. That makes it an awesome base for comparing different parts of things, which is exactly what we're trying to do. All right, now that we know the secret, it's time to build our conversion toolkit. We're about to learn the simple rules for translating between these three codes so you can switch back and forth no problem.
First up, the absolute easiest translation, percents and decimals. It is all about something I call the decimal jump. To go from a percent to a decimal, just find that decimal point and jump it 2 spots to the left. Boom. 40% becomes 0.40. And to go from a decimal back to a percent, you guessed it, just jump 2 spots to the right. 0.4 becomes 40%.
Next tool for our kit, percent to fraction. This is also super straightforward. Remember, percent means out of 100, right? So just take the number, in this case 12, and pop it on top of a fraction over 100. So 12% becomes 12 over 100. But, and this is the most important part, you always have to simplify. We just make the fraction as simple as it can be. Here we can divide both numbers by 4, and we get our final answer, 3 over 25. Okay, but what if we need to go the other way, from a fraction to a percent? Well, for this, we've got 2 awesome strategies. There's the easy way, which works a lot of the time, and then there's a super reliable backup plan that works every time. So the easy way is to ask yourself, can I multiply the bottom number to get to our magic number 100? For a fraction like 2/5, you sure can. You just multiply by 20. And whatever you do to the bottom, you do to the top. So that gives you 40 over 100, which is 40%. But what about a fraction like 1/3? You can't really multiply 3 by a whole number to get 100. That's when we pull out our backup plan. Just turn it into a decimal first. You divide the top number by the bottom number. 1 divided by 3 is 0.333 and so on, and then you just do our decimal jump forward twice to get 33.3%. And for our last big conversion, from a decimal to a fraction, this one has an amazing, simple 3-step rule that's really easy to remember. Step 1, count how many digits are after the decimal point. Step 2, write those digits as the top number of your fraction. And step 3, the bottom number is just a 1 followed by that many zeros. Let me show you what I mean. So you can see the pattern here, right? If there's 1 digit after the decimal, like in 0.4, your fraction is over 10, so 4/10. If there are 2 digits, like in 0.03, your fraction is over 100, so 3/100. 3 digits, like in 0.007, you got it, it's over 1,000, 7/1000. The number of digits just equals the number of zeros you put after the 1. It's that easy. Now, you might see a number like 3.7 and think, whoa, what do I do with that big number out front? Don't worry about it. It just hangs out. The 3 is our whole number, and we just focus on the decimal part. The 0.7, since it has 1 digit after the decimal, becomes 7 over 10. So 3.7 is just the mixed number 3 and 7/10. And, of course, it works the other way, too. If you have a mixed number, like 3 and 3/20, that whole number 3 just stays right where it is. It's going to be the number in front of the decimal point. Then you just convert the fraction part. For this one, we can use our easy way and turn 3/20 into 1500ths, which we know is 0.15. So 3 and 3/20 just becomes 3.15. Okay, every pro gamer has a cheat sheet. And this is going to be yours for math. Seriously, memorizing these common conversions will make you so much faster. A half, a quarter, 3/4, and a whole. Knowing these instantly in all three forms is a total game changer. Trust me. All right, our toolkit is officially assembled. Now it's time to put these new skills to the test and solve a problem that looks really tricky at first. It's time for the ordering challenge. So here we go. We've got a percentage, a mixed number, a decimal, and two different fractions. Trying to compare them like this, it's like trying to compare apples, oranges, and pineapples. It's just confusing. So how do we possibly figure this out? This right here is the single most important strategy for problems like this. This is your secret weapon. You always convert everything into the same language. And the easiest language to use for comparing numbers, hands down, is decimals. It makes everything line up perfectly so you can see which is bigger. So once we convert them all, we can see the order clear as day. But, and this is super important, when you write your final answer, you have to write the numbers back in their original form. So you use the decimals to figure out the order, but you present the final answer using the original numbers. And that little symbol, by the way, that's the less than sign. Just think of it like a hungry alligator's mouth that always wants to eat the bigger number.
And now for our grand finale. Let's test our new code-breaking skills with a few quick-fire puzzles. It's time to find the missing numbers. Let's do this.
In our first puzzle, we're given the percentage, 85%. That's our starting point. From 85%, we can do that decimal jump backwards twice to get 0.85. Easy. And we can write 85 over 100, then simplify it by dividing the top and bottom by 5 to get our fraction, 17/20. See? Once you know one, you can unlock the other two.
Okay, puzzle number 2. This time, we start with the fraction 13 over 25. Let's try our easy way. Can we make that bottom number, 25, into 100? Of course, we just multiply by 4. So we multiply the top by 4 too, which gives us 52 over 100. And that is 52%, which we know is 0.52 as a decimal.
Done.
And for our last puzzle, we're starting with the decimal 0.18. This might be the fastest one of all. A quick decimal jump forward twice gives us 18%. Then, to get the fraction, we write 18 over 100, and then we just simplify by dividing the top and bottom by 2. And that gives us our final answer, 9 over 50.
And just like that, you've done it. You've mastered the code. The secret is out. Percentages, fractions, and decimals are all just speaking the same language. So my question for you is, what real-world numbers can you translate today? A sale at the store that's 25% off? A recipe that calls for half a cup of flour? They're everywhere, just waiting for you to crack their code.